I struggle with telling Portlanders that their police department is not going to be able to at least attempt to respond to their need for.
America, that is the police chief of Portland, Oregon. Portland, the city that launched the national defund the police movement in 2020, the city that became a symbol. 5 years later, their own chief is on camera saying that he struggles to promise that they'll ever show up to anything. The mayor's answer is cut this department by $20 million more. The council's answer, keep $1.45 million each for their offices.
All right. Hi, Chief.
Wednesday morning, members of the Portland Police Bureau filled city council chambers for the debate over potential cuts to public safety.
A reduction in police officer positions is going to really be more challenging.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Math first, because the math is the entire situation, you guys. Portland's police department currently has around 800 sworn officers. 800. In 2005, it had 1,057. The city's population has grown 20% over that same stretch. The police force is down 23%. The city is significantly bigger, same direction, opposite velocity here.
We have less than half of what the national average is, and I think even with the officers we do have right now, we have around 800 officers. But in 2023, we had 9 officers on probation. We have 97 today. And so we have about 100 times the amount of people who are not deployable. And we've seen the outcome of that. And the very same people who are arguing about how we're going to get this thing on the ballot or how we're going to have conversations are the ones who advocated for the policies that defunded our police department. So, you know, right now in Portland, you are 212% more likely, per the stats from the FBI, to be a victim of property crime.
And here's what it produces on the ground, you guys. The Oregon Criminal Justice Truth Project, Oregon's own watchdog justice group organization, not a political group here, documented emergency call response times, and they're already up 20 minutes before this year's cuts even were passed. 20 extra minutes already before nothing was reduced. Now the mayor's proposed budget wants another $21 million out of the department, the biggest, the largest single cut in public safety support specialists. The non-sworn officers who handle low-level calls, so sworn police can focus on dangerous situations. 25,000 calls a year run through that specific program. The budget cuts it 80%, 34 positions gone. Finito burrito. When those 34 people are gone, those 25,000 calls land back on sworn officers. We already know how that situation's going to pan out, don't we? You already know. And these officers, you guys, who are already stretched past their minimum staffing numbers, on Saturday night last month, 41 officers were covering the entire city. Let me rewind that so you hear that correctly, okay? You guys, 41 officers were covering the entire city. Minimum required was 54. 12 calls came in simultaneously from the waterfront park. First call was at 6:51 p.m. Officers arrived at 7:13 p.m., more than 20 minutes. While stretched across a barricade situation elsewhere in the city, the deputy chief asked directly what could be done with the current staffing. His answer, it comes down to city values. Not his values, the values of whoever wrote the budget, who put the 41 officers on the street and the 54 that were supposed to be here. And here's what a lot of outlets, period, end of story, did not run, okay? Several members of the city council, Democrats, I might add, showed up to the budget hearing and said out loud what should have been absolutely obvious.
The Portland City Council has voted itself huge office budgets, $1.45 million a year for each office. That's $650,000 more than Multnomah County commissioners get. And they represent a larger number of people than any of us do.
This is not fair to Portlanders and those paying high dollar taxes to live in this beautiful city when we see these type of cuts.
We've identified 157 police officer positions have been cut going back almost 2 decades, as well as an estimate of about 60 non-sworn positions have been cut.
we're going to see officers not go through critical trainings that make them better on the ground.
3 Democrats, you guys. One question. Why are we cutting the team that answers 25,000 calls a year when every council member has a $1.45 million set aside for their own office staff? Okay. $1.45 million per council office, $650,000 more per person than any other county commissioner. Okay. These people who represent more residents than a single council member does. Novitt asked his own colleagues on camera to donate their own office budgets to save the police staff's job. Okay. The counselor who responded said he was using his office budget to fix the broken elevator and said that she'd give some money next year. Next year, you guys, when more people get hurt on the street, next year, when more people are murdered on the street, there's a second opinion that nobody's talking about. Portland has a clean energy fund. Yes, a clean energy fund, a climate-focused city fund, and that has accumulated interest earnings available. A council member proposed directing these funds to save the police staff positions. The mayor, you guys, said no. Portland was the city. The 2020 summer, you guys remember that, the protest that became a national frame here. Police funding was absolutely cut and shredded through the paper shredder. Officers retired early. The department couldn't recruit fast enough. Response times climbed up to Mount Everest. Now the mayor proposes $21 million more of cuts. The council members most responsible for the original moment are keeping the $1.45 million each for their offices while debating whether to fund the team answering the 25,000 calls. You don't get to build a fire and then call the budget the actual problem.
This organization is incredibly thin to begin with. Every cut we make is a cut to the bone.
Portland Police Chief Bob Day reckoning with the proposal for cuts to the bureau he worked out with Mayor Keith Wilson.
I'm not happy about it. I don't like it. I've been through the 5 stages of grief about 48 times in the last week. I'm saddened by it. I'm disappointed that we're at this place as a city.
He's not performing. He's not spinning. He's describing a triage, because the triage is what you do when you're out of options here. When your 41 officers are supposed to be 54 officers, when you send them to the highest priority calls, everything below it, it waits and waits. Chief Day didn't create this. He inherited this absolute mess, watched it get absolutely worse with more budget cuts. And now the one who has gone on camera trying to explain it to 650,000 people. The people, the council members, everybody who voted for this created it. And they're the ones with the $1.45 million office budgets, okay? And here's the part, you guys, that puts Portland on a national map for the absolute wrong reason. Before this year's budget cuts, before the $21 million reduction, before the 80% in cuts on the police staff, Portland already ranked, get this, you guys, 47th out of 50 major American cities in regards to police response times, okay? 47 with 800 officers, ranked below 46 other American cities. The proposed cuts eliminate non-sworn team that was making the 47th ranking even possible. That's not something to be proud of. The city has no plan to replace the team that did it. Zimmerman's amendment to add the 20 more officers is still pending. The mayor has not publicly supported it yet.
This scale back is obviously going to translate to them taking less calls for service.
Key phrase here, you guys, unanswered for an extended period of time. That is the chief using that phrase on camera calmly because it's the truth. And he's done pretending otherwise here. The 2020 defund the police movement, obviously that worked well, had a phrase that ran through every single sign in Portland. It said, fund people, not police. The city, they funded the people. Racial equality commissions, gender equality commissions, DEI bullcrap, violence prevention offices. We know how those work, right? The violence prevention officers, they're all in this budget. And guys, they're not being cut. The team answering the 25,000 calls a year, that is what's being cut. The people who made those 25,000 calls needed somebody to answer to. They weren't in the slogan. America, here's the verdict. Portland built the movement, cut the department, and watch the officers leave and skedaddle out the door. Watch the response times skyrocket to Mount Everest, to 47th on the national rankings. Watch the minimum staffing get missed on every Saturday night. Their police chief went on camera and said he struggles to promise that they'll even try to respond. Their council kept the $1.45 million each for their offices, passed a clean energy fund option here, and now debating over whether 20 more officers is worth the budget amendment. Make it make sense, you guys. The city of Portland that told the entire country what policing should look like in 2020 is now ranked 47. That's the receipt. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.